Self-voicing enabled. You've just been called into the inspector's office to sleuth a new case. You and the inspector have never seen eye to eye, but today feels different. The inspector. The inspector, oh. I didn't see you there. The inspector, you're right on time to begin our next investigation. The inspector, the case we're investigating is none other than a murder. You, yikes. Where'd it happen? The inspector, well, my unobservant friend, take a look behind me. You, oh, there's some blood. You, I feel like kind of a dope for not seeing that before. The inspector, as you should, my dear companion. You disappoint me yet again, as usual. The inspector looks to the ground and begins to follow the bloody trail. You follow suit, feeling exceedingly stupid. The inspector, it's just as I thought. The trail leads deeper in. The inspector, come, let us follow the blood upstairs. The inspector, I do not want to. The inspector rushes ahead, but you stay back for a bit to think. I do not want to think. Well, that's really boring and I hate it. You decide to follow the inspector without asking a cool question. The pair of detectives continue their search. The inspector, the blood here looks more fresh, we must be hot on his tail now. You stop to think for a moment. You've never been this far into the inspector's home. This is getting pretty serious, you say to yourself. Maybe you should ask him another question. No, I won't. Really? Okay, fine. We won't talk to the inspector then. Again. The inspector deems that interaction time has concluded and sleuthing time has resumed. You once again follow suit. The inspector, gadzooks. The floor is practically painted with blood in here. The inspector, I reckon the killer is right through that door over there. The inspector, well, what are we waiting for? Let's bring this crook to justice. You. What will you ask the inspector? La la la, I'm not listening. You continue to be the most boring person alive and just follow the inspector into the room. The pair slowly enter the room, revealing Tricky Toby, Muek, you. You, Tricky Toby. You, but, what happened to the inspector? Tricky Toby, why do you care? You neglected to interact with him the entire time. Tricky Toby, this is my room now. Like what I've done with the place. You, it's so bright in here. I can hardly think. You, so, you caused the murder? Tricky Toby, muahaha. There was no murder. You, but, what about the blood? Tricky Toby, it was just my signature melted red candy soup. Tricky Toby, now, my real plan begins. Tricky Toby, it's time for you to become Tricky Toby, Caucasian. The following scene is much too graphic to display. Wait, but that's not what really happened. That's completely absurd. Let's try that again.